The Zerathi Empire had ruled the Outer Rim for 3,000 cycles. Their ships were legends-leak, powerful, and utterly merciless. To the lesser species, the Zerathi were gods. To the humans, they were just another problem. Commander Vexter of the Imperial Fleet had heard the rumors about humanity, primitive, emotional, weak, when his battlecruiser limped into the uncharted system after a catastrophic engine failure. He expected to find some backwater colony ripe for conquest or, at minimum, exploitation. What he found instead was a small mining outpost on a frozen moon called Titan 7, populated by exactly 43 humans. The crew had no choice. The ship was dying, hemorrhaging power and life support. Vexter watched from his command throne as the emergency landing protocols engaged, dragging the massive vessel down through ice storms and howling winds. They crashed 3 kilometers from the human settlement. "Seal all hatches," Vexter ordered, his scaled chest heaving with effort. The cold was already seeping through the hull. Zerathi were cold-blooded, evolved on a desert world where the suns never set. This frozen wasteland was a death sentence. Within an hour, half his crew of 20 was unconscious. Within 2, Vexter could barely move. The emergency beacon was active, but rescue would take days they didn't have. Lieutenant Kira Shen spotted the crashed ship from her garage workshop. She'd been repairing a mining drone when the sky lit up with atmospheric entry fire. Now, standing in the doorway of her small prefab structure, she watched smoke rise from behind the ice ridge. "Kira to base," she said into her got a downed vessel, 3 clicks northeast. "Big one, copy that," came Marcus Webb's voice, the outpost commander. "Sending a team. Don't approach," but Kira was already suiting up. The storm was getting worse, and whatever was in that ship wouldn't last long in these conditions. She fired up her snowcrawler and headed out. The crashed cruiser was massive, easily 500 meters long. Its hull was cracked, venting atmosphere into the freezing wind. Kira approached cautiously, her scanner showing life signs fading, but she found the access hatch on the starboard side, partially buried in snow. It took 20 minutes to cut through with her plasma torch. When the door finally gave way, a wave of cold air rushed out, cold even by Titan 7 standards. Inside, the ship was dark. Emergency lights flickered weakly. Kira moved through the corridors. Following her scanner, she found them in what looked like a command center reptilian beings, their scales dulled and frost-covered, lying motionless on the floor, dead. She thought they were all dead. Then she saw movement. Near the back of the room, something small was crawling. Kira approached slowly, her helmet lamp illuminating the creature. It was no bigger than a house cat, covered in dark green scales, with wings folded tight against its body. A juvenile Zerathi, the little dragon bee, 'cause that's what it looked like, raised its head weakly. Its eyes, golden and intelligent, met hers. Then it collapsed. Kira didn't think. She scooped the creature up, cradling it against her heated suit. It was ice cold, barely breathing. "Hang on, little one," she whispered. "You're safe now." She ran back to her crawler, the small dragon tucked inside her suit where her body heat could reach it. As she drove back toward the outpost, she felt it stir slightly. Pressing closer to warmth. In her garage, Kira laid the creature on a heated pad near her workbench. She cranked the temperature up, turned on heat lamps, and wrapped it in thermal blankets. For the next hour, she sat beside it, monitoring its vital signs with her medical scanner. Slowly, color returned to its scales. Its breathing steadied. Finally, those golden eyes opened again. "Hey there," Kira said softly. "Welcome back." The dragon hissed weakly, trying to rise. Kira held up her hands. "Easy, you're safe. I'm not going to hurt you." The creature watched her, intelligence flickering in its gaze. Then, to Kira's surprise, it settled back down, still watching but no longer hostile. By the time Marcus and the rescue team arrived at the crash site, they found the rest of the Zerathi crew in stasis, alive, but barely. They brought them to the outpost's medical bay, where the station's Dr. Elena Park worked frantically to stabilize them. Commander Vexter woke to warmth. Impossible warmth. He opened his eyes to find himself in a small medical facility, surrounded by primitive equipment and humans. His crew lay in beds around him, also alive, also warm. "You're awake," a human female said, approaching his bed. "I'm Dr. Park. You've been unconscious for 6 hours. Vexter tried to speak, his voice a rasp. My son, Prince Thalrex." "Where, the young one?" Another voice. Vexter turned his head to see a smaller human female enter, carrying a bundle. "He's right here." Kira approached the bed and carefully unwrapped the thermal blanket. The prince was awake, alert, his scales gleaming with health. When he saw his father, he chirped a sound Vexter had feared he'd never hear again. He was the only one still conscious when I found your ship, Kira explained. Crawled all the way to the garage looking for help. Brave little guy. Vexter stared at the human. By old Zerathi law, she should have let them die. Humans were prey species, barely worthy of notice. Yet she had saved them. Saved his son. Why? He managed to ask. Kira looked at him, then down at the small prince in her arms. She smiled. Because that's what you do when someone needs help. Doesn't matter who they are. Over the next 3 days, as the Zerathi crew recovered and awaited Imperial rescue, Vexter watched the humans. He watched them share their limited resources without hesitation. He watched Kira spend hours playing with his son, teaching him human games, keeping him entertained. He watched Marcus coordinate repairs on the Zerathi ship with the same dedication he'd give to his own equipment. When the Imperial rescue fleet finally arrived, Prince Thalrex refused to leave Kira's side. He'd imprinted on her, his chirps desperate. As Vexter tried to take him, Kira knelt down to the prince's level. Hey, it's okay. You're going home. Your dad needs you. The prince chirped again, nuzzling against her hand. I'll remember you too, Kira whispered. She looked up at Vexter. Take care of him. Vexter nodded slowly. You saved the future emperor of the We will not forget this. 6 months later, humanity received its first official diplomatic contact from the Zerathi Empire. A peace treaty, trade agreements, and a personal message from Commander Vexter, now Admiral. You whispered that we were safe. You gave us warmth when we had only cold. The Empire does not forget its debts. And in a garage on Titan 7, Kira Shen smiled as she read the message, remembering golden eyes and small scales, and a little dragon who taught an empire what humanity really meant.